Ahasuerus, lounging amid silk cushions and the scent of myrrh, glanced up. His gaze softened at the sight of his queen. Slowly, he extended the golden scepter, the symbol of mercy, of life granted. Esther advanced, the hem of her gown whispering across marble. She touched the tip of the scepter, then knelt. Here she is in that breathless instant, grace and terror intertwined, the fate of her people hanging on a single gesture. The king spoke, voice rich with curiosity and affection. "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even to half the kingdom it shall be granted." Esther rose, voice steady despite the storm inside. "If it please the king, let the king and Haman come today to the banquet that I have prepared for him." Ahasuerus smiled, intrigued, amused, and summoned Haman at once. That evening, the three of them reclined at a private table laden with delicacies: roasted lamb spiced with saffron, pomegranates bursting with ruby seeds, wine poured from silver pitchers. The lamps flickered low, casting long shadows across the walls painted with lions and date palms. Esther served them herself, pouring wine with graceful hands, her smile a careful veil. Haman swelled with pride, invited to dine with the king and queen. Yet the king pressed gently. "Now, Esther, what is your petition?" "It shall be granted even to half my kingdom," she demurred, eyes lowered. "If I have found favor, let the king and Haman come tomorrow to the banquet I will prepare. Then I will answer." Haman left the palace that night with a full heart and a lighter step until he passed the king's gate. There stood Mordecai, still refusing to bow, still upright as a cedar. Rage boiled up fresh in Haman's chest. He controlled it long enough to reach home, where he summoned his wife Zeresh and his friends. He boasted of his wealth, his sons, his promotion, and yet, "This avails me nothing so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate." Zeresh and the advisors spoke poison sweetly. "Let a gallows 50 cubits high be built. Tomorrow ask the king to hang Mordecai on it. Then go merrily to the banquet." Haman approved. The workmen labored through the night under torchlight, raising the towering scaffold, tall enough to be seen across Susa, a monument to vengeance. Here looms the instrument of Haman's fury, dark against the stars. But that same night, in the royal bedchamber, sleep fled from Ahasuerus. Restless, he called for the book of memorable deeds, the royal chronicles. Servants unrolled the scrolls by lamplight as the king listened. And there it was. The record of how Mordecai had uncovered Bigthana and Teresh's plot to assassinate the king, how he had warned through Esther, and how the traitors were hanged. The king stirred. "What honor or dignity has been bestowed on Mordecai for this?" The attendants answered, "Nothing has been done for him." Ahasuerus frowned. The debt had gone unpaid, too long. At dawn, as the first light gilded the palace, Haman arrived early, ready to request Mordecai's execution. But before he could speak, the king asked, "What shall be done for the man whom the king delights to honor?" Haman's heart leaped. He assumed it was himself. "Let royal robes be brought, the ones the king has worn, and a horse the king has ridden, with the royal crest. Let one of the king's noble officials lead this man through the city square, proclaiming, 'Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delights to honor.'" Ahasuerus nodded. "Excellent. Do so at once, for Mordecai the Jew who sits at the king's gate. Omit nothing you have said." Haman froze. The words struck like a lash, but he had no choice. He fetched the robe, the horse, and led Mordecai through Susa's streets, voice cracking, as he cried out the words of honor for the man he hated most. Mordecai, clad in royal purple, rode tall, while Haman walked before him, head bowed in public humiliation. The procession wound through the city, whispers spreading like fire. Haman returned home in ashes, face covered, spirit broken. His wife Zeresh looked at him and said the terrible truth. "If Mordecai is of Jewish descent and you have begun to fall before him, you will not prevail." "You will surely fall." Before he could reply, the king's eunuchs arrived to hurry him to Esther's second banquet. The trap was set. The reversal had begun. And the queen, silent no longer, waited in the banquet hall, ready to unveil the truth that would shatter Haman's world forever.